Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about something very weird but also very cool. It's one of those stories that was obviously cancelled but ends in such a way that it's both a satisfying end and a perfect jumping off point for any future development of the setting in the title. I'm talking about the Hunters Guild Red Hood. This is a coming of age story, basically, by Kawaguchi Yuki. It is drawn by the same person and it is a adventure, comedy, drama, fantasy shonen that was the winner of the 14th Gold Future Cup Rookie Manga competition, which is pretty good because these competitions are very cutthroat and very sought after by winners. So this artist won the competition for this title, and it's basically Little Red Riding Hood, except there's a bit more to it. So let's get into it. It was started as a one-shot on the Future Golden Cup entry, published in Weekly Shonen Jump on September 19th, 2020. It ran for about 11 months after that until November in 2021. Right. When looking at this manga, you have to go in with a few presets. The story is obviously influenced by Little Red Riding Hood, the Big Bad Wolf, the Three Little Pigs, and stuff like that. Those Gimmfairytales that obviously have some sort of deeper meaning and possibly some life lesson involved that are based on folklore and maybe urban legend. But it goes a bit beyond this. You see, the hunters and the monsters are diametrically opposed simply because of fate, and this plays a big part in towards the manga. And
the whole thing goes, the future's not set. There's no fate but what we make for ourselves.
The main character, he's very feminine looking, and if you didn't realise that he was a boy, you would probably think he was the Red Hood character until they introduce Grimm, who is obviously the name taken after Grimm, but she's obviously the Red Hood character because she has the Red Hood coloured cape thing in the colour images, but she has it like in stylised black and white images as well. But Velo is very hardworking. He's sort of like your Deku character, but he goes a bit beyond this because he finds out that his destiny is not his own and it's all controlled by a book, and ultimately he decides to fight for freedom rather than oblivion. When he finds out that his father figure is actually trying to destroy the world, he goes against it and eventually reclaims his individuality and everyone's individuality. In fact, in the end, the very monsters that they're fighting in the beginning have to team up with them to fight this individual, and it ends rather satisfyingly with the heroes and the villains coming together in order to have their own destiny. There's a lot of points about free will and destiny and what makes a hero, and if you are simply a character in a book, do you exist? And if you do exist, can you break that into your own free will? And that really answers that really poses a lot of questions and answers some of them and leaves a lot up to the viewer. But saying all this, it's certainly not a bad manga, and it's certainly very detailed, really on the par with Mary Grave in the style and the drawings. It's so intricate that you can see this person, Kawaguchi Yuki, put his heart or their heart and soul into drawing every page. And you know, I'm glad that it got a satisfying end, because a lot of mangas don't really get that, especially nowadays, where endings can make a fan base turn on itself. And of course I'm referring to Attack on Titan with that regard. But is it worth reading? I'm going to say, even if you're not a fan of Little Red Riding Hood and those type of grim stories, it certainly is, because it's got fantastic artwork, it's got fantastic style, it's got a narrative voice of its own, and it proposes a lot of philosophical and metaphysical questions that a lot of manga don't really try to do. But there is comedy, there is nothing rude or ecchi in there. Simply the fact that there's one character who shifts body sizes from a little girl into a woman when she's cursed, but there's nothing really ecchi about it. It's one of those mangas that anyone could read and get quite a lot of something off. It's not something that you would want to avoid because of certain, let's say, tropes. But there are some tropes here. I will try and name them. There's the body shifting one. There's the fairy tale ones. There's the father figure turning out to be the bad boss. There's a lot of other ones, such as like the witch who cursed Grimm actually turns out to be a more proponent of free will than Grimm thought, even though they eventually agree that after the teaming up they would be enemies once more. There's obviously a training montage as well, where Velu becomes more than he is, but he's not your type of character that is given a special skill. He thinks he has to put his mind to anything, and when you find out that he is literally a Deus Ex Machina, he doesn't act like one, if you understand. And yeah, I think that's a good pace to leave it, actually, because what more can be said? What more can be said? It does do a lot of things well, but it's very short, being only 18 chapters long, including the one shot, which is a shame. So there we go. That's just been a manga for the time being, and I've been Trix, and you've been all of you. If you can like and subscribe, that would help me out. If you can leave me a nice comment, that would help me out. Thank you all for your time. Do take care of yourselves, and bye bye.